entrance used to let a person in or let a person out of sight. Are there any anomalies? Yeah, there's a lot. There were so many we didn't really understand why. Some of the members work on site. You know, there's these access control systems, the biometric logger. Some smaller sites just use a PDA. A site might have more than one entrance. You've got this turnstile here or here, and they're nested. So you come in, you swipe in to the site, and do the welfare, put on your hard hat, and then swipe into the construction site. Sometimes there's more than one construction site in the compound area. There's more than one entrance for vehicles. These have personnel that go in and out. When a new employee comes, what happens? You just think, oh, how do they get in? Let's look at what the data tells us.
Okay. So the main challenge was to find errors in the data. So these are the errors we sort of looked out for and flagged up. So the 13-hour error we flagged up because you shouldn't really legally be on the site for more than 13 hours a day for safety reasons and everything. But the maximum we found was 24 hours. So there's obviously something wrong there with the data. We also looked for the swipe out error, so if you swipe in then don't swipe out, and that was shown like a 0 in the column. Too frequent error, so we kind of worked out like logically it should be 4 times a day, so your morning break, lunch and afternoon break, and that's how many times you should go in and out during the day. And then we also had so those are the main kind of errors we looked for. And we also had kind of things for management to kind of maybe look out for, like if someone swipes in and swipes back out in less than 5 minutes, like what they're doing. Going around the site in less than 5 minutes. And also 6 hours because, like, ideally if you work in construction, you should be working for more than 6 hours. So, yeah. And we basically, the way we searched these errors, it was we created logic in Python and separated, like, each column, so a column per error and did it binary, so if there's an error, we had 1. But we didn't quite get to making a Power BI kind of flagging interface for people to use. But obviously that's something we could do in future if we had time. So what we found in the data was that there were 270 duplicate rows straight off. These are just identical rows, so there's obviously something wrong with some system somewhere that you get duplicate rows. And we also found that 98% of user IDs have been tagged as having more than one trade. So one person was actually found to have 293 different trades, which is slightly questionable.
It's 293 people with the same ID.
Well, we think one other theory we have is also that it might be that someone was listed as like a cleaner, slash a window cleaner, slash like a glass cleaner, and they all had like slightly different variations of the same trade. We also found that there were 3.8 had IDs missing, so that's like when they swiped in, didn't swipe out. And we also found that like the frequency of swiping in and swiping out was quite shocking at times. Like this labourer had swiped in and out of areas 148 times in one day, which is quite odd. But we found that was mainly due to like security. So someone was just like the security people will tap people in and out when they're not actually going in and out. So this is we investigated more like the frequency of total number of times someone's tapped in and tapped out in a few years, and we found that it was mainly security at the top 2 people who've been tapping in and out the most. So that kind of Oh, sorry, I missed that slide. So we started to plot things in Power BI. So these are the percentage of times that they got the error too frequent, so they were going in and out more than 4 times a day. So this is by company, but I mean there's a lot more you can do with this. So you can plot this per error, per trade, or per person. It just shows that you can just see individually who's got the most errors and things. But we didn't really have time to do much of that.
So the benefits. We need to clean up the data. We need to collect better data. We need to give this feedback to Datascope and the clients that use Datascope to improve their processes. For instance, the first time you go to site, the security guard lets you in. The security guard's gone in twice now, and I haven't come in. I go in, I fill out some paperwork, I go back down to the security guard, he takes my fingerprint, I swipe out. I've gone out on the first day and I never went in. That's not right, but it is right. It's an anomaly, it's not an error. But with tracking this information will be able to improve health and safety, make sure people don't spend too long on site. Perhaps at the end of the day, somebody's still on site. Security guard needs to check for them. And future projects?
Okay, so we're thinking of a future project if we had more time, so kind of innovative ideas, using logistic regression to predict, like, so if you had like a specific company in trade, and if they went on site at a certain time, you could predict what time they would go off site, and if they went off significantly early or significantly later, you could tag that up as a problem. Yeah, thank you.
Before we start, I'd like to announce that that was actually 5 minutes 43 seconds. Make of that what you will. So what are you going to do with that, guys?
So, well, I mean, already there are all sorts of errors and anomalies that, as you say, we can go back to datascope. What do you think of all of those different items would be the one thing that we should say to datascope first in terms of thing to change?
I think definitely sort of flagging up more than a certain number of hours on site, because that's either they're working overtime when they shouldn't be, or they're not tapped out, which is a fire safety risk because they're not on site when they should be. So I think that's quite an important one to cover.
Great, thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah, just one. What additional data sets would you bring in to, I guess, address some of those errors or otherwise?
I think for the first time someone's worked on site, them leaving is generating what appears to be an error. It's an anomaly. I think Datascope needs to record those as first time, in first induction, and then they would be flagged with another column of first time on site, and that would just help understand that. That's an easy one. The security guard letting multiple people in, perhaps instead of just using his index finger for himself, he should use his middle finger for visitors, or some other finger.
So one thing that would be quite useful is like the locations of different places, sort of geographically, because sometimes they'll go in somewhere and go out another place, and you don't know if these places are logically close by, and that like that's feasible, if that is an error or not.
Are they hierarchically nested, or are they separate? You have to go into one to get into 1A, or is 1A actually 2?
How did you get to these metrics, and how did you calculate these
numbers? When we worked out the errors, we had like a Boolean thing, so it was like 1 if there is an error, 0 if there's not. And we summed all the errors in one column, and then worked out the total number of rows, and then worked that out as a percentage.
Is it Power BI or SQL?
In Python.
Python. I mean, it would be quite interesting to actually share some of these maybe on data visualizations.
Yeah, if we had time.
Data quality dashboards.
Yeah.
It's actually a good idea to do them.
Yeah.
Because it took a while just to get all the error sort of.
There were so many.
Yeah.
There were so many errors. We didn't know which one to.
So yeah, by the time
that's
we.
more useful than showing the actual
Yeah.
results and showing data quality.
And security guard, security officer are 2 different categories. Really, they're one. Electrician, Sparky, electrical helper. Is that 3 different jobs, or is that one job? We wanted to check and see whether we had the same user ID on multiple sites. So what we did was we concatenated the user ID from Datascope with the trade, hoping that would make a real unique user ID, and that would clean up the data. So we were trying to improve the data before going back to complain about it. Because was it site concatenated with user ID also unique? Could that clean it up? And we started looking at ways to solve the problem instead of just identifying all the problems, because we identified too many problems.
That's great, thank you.